What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is ReverseJosh, and today we're doing a review. Halo, the series, just premiered on Paramount Plus the other day, and this is going to be a spoiler and non-spoiler review of the Halo Episode 1. The first half of this or so is going to be spoiler-free, and then I'm going to kind of go into some details of some scenes that I really enjoyed and some stuff about the story that we know of so far, since this is only the first episode. There's not going to be too much spoiler stuff to talk about. But as we get into the series, there will be more and more of these spoilery kind of reviews. But this first one will probably be mainly non-spoilery. I actually really enjoyed this. I didn't have the highest hopes for what the story would be like in this series, but as I said in the reaction video that I did to the final trailer just a couple weeks ago, the visuals in this series are incredible. It really captures the look of Halo and the world of Halo. And I think they've really nailed the designs of the Spartan armor, the Marines, the UNSC as a whole, the Covenant, the Elites, the weapons, like all of it just looks and feels like Halo, down to like smaller details that make you kind of feel like you're still playing the game. There's a lot of points in the show where it cuts to like a first-person view from the Spartan helmets, from Master Chief's armor, and it looks like the HUD when you're playing the game. It goes first-person mode, and it feels like you are playing the game. The whole opening sequence really nails the whole like battle system that Halo is, the whole gunfight system, and it really captures the look and feel of the game with that. There's a lot of characters that I actually really enjoyed in this first episode. Quan being one of them. She's kind of this main girl. She's in the trailer. She's the Asian woman with kind of the shorter hair. She's great so far. I really like her character. I'm excited to see where she kind of ends up and what her arc is like throughout the show. Master Chief is great. He's just Master Chief. He's just cool. He's just awesome. Those are kind of the two standout characters, obviously, which are kind of the two main characters that we're going to be following along. I thought Dr. Halsey was also really interesting in this show. I don't know a lot about what her motives are in the show yet. I know she's just trying to kind of figure out things that are going on with Chief. But I think her character is going to be interesting. It'll be cool to just kind of see and follow along with her, see kind of what twists and turns that her character arc has. Which I think will be really interesting. Along with what I was talking about earlier about the visual, the CGI in this show is kind of hit or miss depending on the scene that you're watching. There's a lot of like movement that looks kind of weird, especially when like a Spartan or an Elite kind of jumps or moves or something. You can kind of tell that like it looks a little weird. You know, I can push that to the side. I don't, really care too much about the CGI. There are some moments where it's a little choppy, but like I said, it's not really the biggest deal to me. I still think the visuals are really stunning, and I'm really enjoying how the show looks. I want to talk about a couple scenes that I really enjoyed, so this is kind of like a little spoiler warning. I'm not going to go into too many details with the story, just kind of want to talk about a few scenes that I really like and some stuff with some characters that I feel is necessary to talk about in this first episode review. Right off the bat, the whole first 20 minutes is incredible. The first 20 minutes really brings you into the show. It's just all action-oriented. Spartans come in, start fighting the Elites. The Elites come in, and the Covenant starts invading this rebel base essentially on Madrigal, and they just destroy the place. They wipe everybody out, and the Spartans come in, they launch, they start killing all the Elites. They go into these first-person modes through the HUD helmet, which is super cool. I really, really enjoyed that. It really felt like the game, like I said earlier. The attention to detail that they put into these action sequences to make it feel like the game is just really well done and really just nailed really well. This is a really interesting scene that I want to talk about that I probably will be talking about as the show goes on. It's kind of a main part of Master Chief's arc in the show and his character development. My camera's not focusing. On Madrigal, after wiping out the rebel base, Chief and the other Spartans go to investigate where the Covenant have landed and what item or something they're trying to retrieve or the reason that they're there on Madrigal. And the camera still like just doesn't want to focus. Like, this is really... So Chief and the other Spartan kind of go into this cave area, and they find this item that's kind of lodged into the wall, and Chief touches it to retrieve it to kind of bring it back to the UNSC, and it kind of starts lighting up as soon as he touches it, lights up the whole area, and he starts seeing visions of this family and this dog running around and this wooded area and everything like that. And right off the bat, this is right where the story starts for Chief's arc in the show. It's revealed later in the episode that these are potentially memories of his by Dr. Halsey. So she reports that to the UNSC director, and Chiefs kind of starts going off the rails. He starts going off his instincts and his feelings rather than like his training and what he knows best as a UNSC Spartan. So we're gonna see him kind of dive off from his beliefs compared to, or I guess contrasting with the UNSC training and everything that he knows and has been taught. So he's kind of learning more about who he is in his past, and he's probably going to find out some stuff at the UNSC that he's not going to trust them anymore or want to work with them anymore. But I don't know. That's just kind of a thought there. This is the biggest spoiler in the show, so do not, if you don't want spoilers, I don't know why you're watching up to this point. So to convince Quan that he is actually fighting for her life and trying to help her, he takes off his helmet, and we get to see Master Chief's face for the first time. Master Chief is played by Pablo Schreiber, I'm not exactly sure how to say that. He looks at her with his own two eyes and tells her that he's trying to help her and save her life. And then the two start working together to kind of get the ship up and running while the UNSC is like trying to take him down. As a player of Halo and someone who's played like kind of all the games in this series, and I've seen some discussion about this on Twitter as well. As the player, we essentially imagine like we are Master Chief. We're playing as him through the story of the games, and we are telling his story throughout, and we are Chief. The player is Master Chief. So, you know, I don't have an issue with it really. It's just a little jarring to see that Master Chief actually has a face. Like, you don't really think about it because he's just so committed to wearing the helmet all the time in the games, and there's no point that you ever see it. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't really have big issues with it. I'm not surprised that we see Master Chief's face in the show at all. It makes sense. It's like The Mandalorian. We got to see his face at some point. I would have liked to save the reveal for later on. I'm not a huge fan of it being like in the first episode. And there's some other pacing stuff that I kind of had an issue with in the show. I kind of think some of the reveals that we had should have been later on in the show, like Chief's memories kind of coming back to him and the helmet reveal. Those things should have been later. It feels like they're kind of just throwing us in to get us invested and get us talking about the show, which is kind of working, I guess. But as a viewer, I think if we took longer to get to these points, then these would be more exciting reveals. Like at the end of Mandalorian Season 1 is when we finally see Din Djarin's face, and I think if we built it up to like maybe halfway through the season or at the end of the show, at the end of the first season, seeing Chief's face would be a more impactful reveal for us as the viewer. And I think a lot of people would have a better opinion of it if it was saved for later on. Overall, I'm actually really enjoying the Halo series. I'm excited to see where it continues. It's actually better than I anticipated it to be. So yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up for this review of the Halo series episode 1. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe down below, comment your favorite part in the episode if you've seen it already. Kind of maybe comment some theories and ideas of what's gonna be shown in the next episode or things like that. Comment anything you want to talk about the show. I'll be responding to comments and stuff, talking about stuff with you guys that I kind of missed in the video. Or stuff that you want to see me talk about, I'll kind of address in the comments as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate the support on the videos. Sorry I haven't uploaded in a few days. I've actually been streaming over on my gaming channel. I'll put a card. It's one of these. I don't know which side it's on. There's a link to my gaming channel. By the time this video comes out, I'll probably be streaming Minecraft Hardcore or Fortnite or something. I don't know yet. But yeah, by the time this comes out, I'll be streaming, so check out this video and then come check out the stream or vice versa. Make sure to subscribe to the gaming channel because we've been doing a lot of content over there. I've been streaming for like 2 or 3 hours a day over there, and it's been kind of a grind. We're playing Minecraft Hardcore mostly. Should have a Fortnite stream in a couple days. So yeah, check out the gaming channel. Subscribe to this channel, like I said, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Halo!